Good evening, everybody. This is the 85th episode of the Apostle Obsonate playthrough as Ike Upscribe. I'm System Chalk. So we have been pulled between fascination and despair. Currently, despair is taking the lead. We are able to get rid of our last little bit of fascination with a fleeting reminiscence, but we do not have a game plan for well, we have a game plan, but we don't have a means of getting rid of the despair quite yet. That will be done through contentment, and because my explore verb is currently occupied, I'm going to have to try and paint my way out of it, which is what we'll be trying tonight. A couple other threats. We have an affliction. This has been sticking around for a little while, so I want to deal with it sooner rather than later, and the Suppression Bureau is going to be taking an interest in us in about half an hour. If I can generate some extra mystique, so much the better, but you know, we'll see how things play out. But our main goal right now is going to be to try and get through the star-shattered Fane, and it looks like we are trying to find a hidden door, which is why we brought Pope Clifton. We will add Cat Caro to give us the 10th level of Lantern, and we will almost certainly find this hidden door. Finally, I should consider what I want to do with my study verb. So, do we have it? I don't think we have any influences that I want to get rid of, and of course the great drawback right now is that I don't have any books to read. So I suppose we're just going to have to sit on the study verb unless I want to try and upgrade. Well, okay. So maybe I don't want to try and get rid of the... Let's give this a shot. Let's try upgrading the Forbidden Epic. History is less certain than we are taught. I can learn from the study of its blurred edges. So we'll see if we can make some use of that fascination before we get rid of it. My follower needs a bronze spintrea or better to complete their task. Just a reminder, I never really I personally like using hotkeys in games, but if ever you see a bunch of the cards suddenly stack without any seeming intervention on my part, it's the equivalent to hitting this button here, but if you press tab, you'll be able to get the collection like that. Okay, let's cure my affliction before we do anything else. So now is all I need now is time. And we have written our brief treatise on heart. The good news here is we didn't get a vitality. Well, it's not good news, but we didn't get a vitality, so we didn't wind up wasting the study verb. Not that it would have mattered. It's already a sunk cost. And the question now is, do I want to try and do a painting in hopes that I'll be able to get that contentment, or do I want to try and do another commission in order to make a little. In order to make some spintrea. It'll also help in terms of things like mystique and such. I think in this particular case what I'm going to do is paint. I'm pretty sure we're going to wind up with a notoriety no matter what. But this is going to be one where I attempt to get rid of the staleness, so that's going to mean 3 passion. I am going to bring the notoriety in. You never know, this might be a living. Add passion to make distinctive paintings, add mystique, and especially notoriety to attract attention and make more money. Be careful, if you use notoriety, exhibiting paintings will keep you in the public eye. So, what do I want to use as my inspiration? I shouldn't do the fascination because that is going to be an input to my research. So I suppose let's take our fleeting reminiscence as an inspiration. This should have an impact. I want to keep the fleeting reminiscence around so that I can get rid of the fascination. And we have fixed the Wildering Mirror. This means that when my dream slot becomes available again, we can start going back to the Peacock Door. Faint lines in stone, a surface that yields to pressure. We found it. The hidden door moves with a grating shudder and a shower of dust. Wisdom is a country, and these are its maps. Solve all of the challenges on both fragments of lore to complete this research task. You can return to a task later if you fail. Also, we're going to talk with Count Jannings to fulfill the commission. At the very least, that's going to give us a little extra mystique. I have what he requested. It's probably not going to save us from the Suppression Bureau, but it does get us a little bit more time. Okay, Season of Despair coming up if... well, actually, there's no way that can affect us because there's already one on the table. All right, I've received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. Now, I probably should have known ahead of time I was going to get iron. I also believe this moth commission will get me iron. But there's our mystique. And I will spend money on paints. We're a little short on funds, but we'll give it a shot. I could spend money on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. Is there anybody I want to talk to right now? No. Unless I think I can get rid of notoriety with the talk verb, but I don't think that's the right idea. The timing window on that is pretty unforgiving. Alright, I forgot to check for the erudition. So that was silly of me. We didn't even get past the first challenge. I should have read a newspaper before I went in. Right, the expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I can add funds now, or I could send another follower. So we're up against a curse next. Heart or winter, so the maid in the mirror is already going to take care of it for us. Let's just add a little Claire to see what happens. I don't think it will do anything. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. And finally, we've got the artist reward. So this did get rid of the dread. The contentment came out. Oh, that's a lot of contentment. So we have our fascination again. Still have notoriety, but it's now 1/3 of our current reputation. And we got our money back, but we also still have the staleness, so that was a bit of a wash. I think we're gonna throw ourselves at the painting again. Do I want to risk painting a fascination? Lost my nerve. Balked. My studies have been stymied for now. Alright, the Elegist knows what is already lost. His power will almost certainly protect us. And if we added Violet, nothing changes if you get it up to level 20. Okay, we'll try the funds again, but we don't have much hope. And the Wolf Despair prowls elsewhere. No dread empowers this despair. It's over for now. Dream-wise, I probably should be going through the Peacock Door. In my dreams, I know the path through the glass garden to the Peacock's Door, the most admirable of doors, the door which shines like a mirror. Perhaps with the right resources, I can pass it. I should have done this earlier. Looks like Paul Samuelson's coming with a vial of blood for us, so much the better. This was rather embarrassing that I let this happen, but read whatever is to hand. The world is awash in printed words. Even newspapers contain knowledge sometimes. Oh. Poppy. Worms in the world. There are worms in the city. One does not see worms, but neither does one forget them. They will search until they find someone they can enter through the spaces in the skin and then do what worms will. Wow! I am glad I didn't have that. Can we sign the contract first? Honestly, couldn't have happened to a more deserving person. All right. So getting a nice little stack of oh, nice. We got rid of the staleness. So we are getting a nice little stack of Mystique. It's not really going to help us all that much because we just don't have the notoriety to keep us in money right now. I really do want to do more of these commissions, but let's make the most of the reputation while we can. And also because that lets me keep my fascination for a bit longer than it would otherwise would have been around. Is there anybody I want to talk to right now? I'll say no. Well, oh, I remember. I could have sent knock followers to go and make me some money. Alright, our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. And a Season to Suspicion coming up again, so that's kind of like a free run. All right, the colors of the night. Let's pay for the paints, and let's talk with Jannings about a new commission. Couriers arrive from our delight with a single vial of their most holy blood. So we've got 214 seconds left, 228, so it's a tight window, but as long as we keep the dream slot open, we should be fine. Okay, so I can punt and go for the unresolved ambiguity, or we can try for something a little sterner and go to the Worm Museum, or, well, Church, Red Church or the Worm Museum. Unresolved ambiguities are not bad because I can upgrade them, but let's be brave, and I'm actually going to try and go to the Worm Museum here. Fair enough. Seen too much. A nameless gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes, an existential horror. I dreamt last night of the Worm Museum. The hours have sent wards about it and warnings before it, but they have left it open to mortal adepts who can prove themselves by reaching it. Perhaps they hope to inspire revulsion against the things that bred in the corpse of the sun. Those things are here still, always dying, never dead. They came from nowhere, the warnings say, and if they complete their work, the Mantis will be nowhere one day. Okay, so we've got the erudition that we were looking for. The glimmering's not going to last very long, but we've got some in reserve, and Count Jannings would like a substantial heart commission. So plenty of commissions for me to do when the time comes. Looks like we got another erudition coming up, but I want to try and upgrade these forbidden epics as quickly as I can. And who do I want to talk to? Nobody right now. Oh, not true. I want to talk to Valsine about my mirror. And I think, given the dread, I'm just trying to think, it would help. I think in this case I am going to try one more run into the Peacock Door. But I do want to keep the dream slot open to get rid of the fascination when the time comes. Peacock's door reflects the mirror I hold in my sleep, and the mirror reflects the Peacock's door. Already a sensuous shiver ripples its surface. It aches for and when it finds that satisfaction, I will enter. Recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. More contentment, more mystique. Although, actually no, most of this mystique we already had. Plenty of money and no reputational costs, so let's just keep throwing... so the drawback here is that we are going to generate a notoriety off of this expedition. Let's keep one of the fleeting reminiscence this time around. Okay, the worms have found their way beneath the skin. This is the end. It's possible to save one only if you have tremendous degree of heart influence at your disposal. So, again, if I find a way of getting an imminence. So that's basically, unless I go into the unless I go through the spider door, we lose Poppy, but whatever, Poppy wanted an ending. But yeah, this is definitely one that I gotta keep an eye on. I genuinely don't remember this one. This is a terrifying... Oh! Well, at least I know I'm doing some painting. Dusty facts have become clear in my brain, for now at least. And the meteorite lies in the shattered temple, ridged like a sea creature, smoothed by its passage through the atmosphere. The old altar must have been crushed centuries ago, but the meteorite responds to our touch. It hums like wires in the wind. Its surface shifts, and it opens like an eye. What is past? The meteorite is cold and closed and silent. The sand of centuries lies untouched upon it, but here in our hands we find the treasures we found within. Okay, so Eau Claire wasn't necessary. Eau Claire was just more of a, because I could. There's our notoriety, so that's going to have 44 seconds. That's going to be a threat because it's basically a 50-50 chance. Good work, Cat Caro. Good work, Tristan. Nope, what are you doing? He's not. Good work, Pope Clifton. There's my Caligine. There's my Maid in the Mirror. All right, Medusa's Lament. The Focus of Amber. Another Wildering Mirror, so I'm going to need even more Bronze Spintrea. And The Manner in Which the Alchemist Was Spared. So 3 books to work with. That's good news for us. I'm a little shaky on financing for the next few expeditions, but let's plow ahead. They are ultimately what we're trying to accomplish right now, so. Lagan's tomb will be difficult to find in the desert. We must navigate by the stars. Sorry, we should probably report what this is. A low slope-sided rectangle of mud brick in an obscure fold in the desert. It is not remarkable to look at, but Lagoon was counted among the immortal long, and no robber has ever breached the tomb. Lagoon's tomb will be difficult to find in the desert. We must navigate by the stars. Its door has long resisted the assaults of tomb robbers. We must bring what force we can. There will likely be a curse. We must be prepared for it. So lots of Forge in my view, and I'm actually quite worried that the video has stopped recording. So I'm going to hit start. Okay. So here's the catch. My OBS, while recording, essentially OBS has sort of stopped reporting a time. I believe it's still working, but it is basically it says it 15 minutes into this broadcast or into this recording. I don't see anything else. So I don't know how long 15 minutes ago was. I'm sort of lost in the game. And I would like to avoid having to try. I don't even know how it would wind up re-recording an episode like this. So my apologies if this is an early end, but I think the best thing for me to do is just try and lock in this episode and deal with whatever issues come up. But it's also not a bad breaking point just because we did complete the tomb. So I apologize. It's a little abrupt, but we are going to call it here. Oh, nope. It's back. Okay. Turns out we're at 17 minutes. So as long as that doesn't happen again, we're good. Okay, sorry about that. Let's make the most of the time that we have then. So, Lagan's tomb will be difficult to find in the desert. We must navigate. Oh, sorry, we've already read this. So yeah, bunch of Forge, I suspect. Old and Happy Farm Things is coming up with a. Sorry, I shouldn't be rushing. Like, it's fine. The game will be here when I'm done. Okay, I do think we're going to lose the fascination, though. I don't see any situation in which we're able to preserve this. So essentially, we've just been wasting our time with the study. Okay, we will spend money on the Colors of the Night, and we do have a Season of Ardors, which is going to give me some contentment, so I'm happy about that. And who knows, maybe we'll wind up with a fascination from the dream. I'd rather not, but something special, it may provoke a reaction. Artist reward. My recent work is celebrated. My name is known and my work has done well. Okay. So this was kind of important to me just so that we can get a bunch of mystique to clog the... Oh, well. Mission accomplished there. I don't think the Suppression Bureau is going to have an easy time finding me. Wow! Gotta do this more often. And of course we have Restlessness, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I'll take my 2 notoriety. At this point, I really don't care which mystique I'm using, but we will use Restlessness as our inspiration to get rid of it, and of course to make some money. Okay, so here we need the erudition, which we're fine with. Okay, now, again, as I sort of said here, I'm not deliberately looking to get fascination. Well, I mean, maybe I should. But the lore is a little more important. So I think in this case here, I'm going to try the Red Church. I don't think there's a situation in which we wind up with both fascination. deep down in my heart of hearts, I think there's going to be a secret history in the War Museum, but, well, that's why I shouldn't listen to my heart of hearts. The Vagabond's map. The Vagabond is the 1 hour who can never enter the Mansis, but she goes everywhere else, and if you believe her boast, she's the only one who knows all the histories. Sometimes she lets someone record her travels. So, no fascination to work with for the upgrade, but that's fine because we have other books. I saw the Red Church again last night, with its pews of bone, the stained glass and the shades of ruby, the golden altar that beats like a heart. That night the names of the Grail gathered to speak of those long who'd sworn off the pleasures of the bedchamber, save between man and man or woman and woman. They still pay the tribute of delight, an ivory said. They do not bear fruit, a lovely said. If Forge and Sun had only joined, a thirstly lamented. Then they fell to gossiping of the long in the house of Leith and their deeds in the desert. I remember it still. So, of course, the Vagabond's map isn't our destination now. Vagabond's map is what we use to get locations in the Lone and Level Sands. We actually want to upgrade Vagabond's maps to something else. But we'll take the steps where we can. Now, the question here is, do I want to try and do anything with the dream slot other than go back to the Peacock door? No, I don't think I do. So let's lock that in right away. And if I can remember, it is the Worm Museum if I want to follow the pattern of going to the Worm Museum, Red Church, so on and so forth. And on that note, just trying to set myself up with as many... Okay, let's take a look at the expedition as well. So we've got a warded door, so we knew we were going to need Forge. We're going to need Forge here as well. And then the Dry Soul Curse needs Heart or Lantern. Now, we don't really have the Heart or Lantern that we need. And as is usually the case, I want to bring enough followers to be able to deal with it. We're lucky with the Lantern just because we have 3 followers, so if Pope Clifton does fall to one of the others, we can just add Slee or Cat Caro. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, but it's an option. So we're in a pretty good place for the next session. Obviously, we're going to keep going through the Lone and Level Sands. After this one, we have 2 more locations, one of which will be giving us sort of unique artifacts. Maya is just, it's going to give me some extra nice bits. And then that brings us to our final locations. All of the places in Port Noon are sort of the most advanced, expeditions. They are going to be where we find the final components for the vitulation, as well as a couple of other details that we need to get the work done. And that probably gives us what we need to complete the run. But of course, we're in no rush for that. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you have not already done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And I do always like reading your comments. And if you want to help support the visual or kind of the visibility of the broadcast, I do appreciate the like. Or every once in a while, there's a dislike that comes by. I can take it. But I never want to take that for granted. I am always grateful whenever you interact with the videos because they do help me just kind of keep the energy to keep going. But that is it for me tonight. I will wish you all a good weekend, and I will see you all again when the next video is released at 6:30 Eastern Time on Wednesday. Until then.